38 Radio is brought to you by the San Jam Music Festival on Panama City Beach, April 26th through 28th. Catch Kings of Leon, Cold War Kids, Third Eye Blind, JJ Grey and Mofro, The Revivalists, and more. Tickets on sale now at sanjamfest.com. Welcome to the 38 Show, your beach-happy podcast for beach lovers. Brought to you by 38 Cottages, wonderful rental homes from inlet beach to watercolor. Online at 38cottages.com. Let's hit the beach. Here's Corey.
All right, performing at San Jam Festival, April 26th through the 28th in Panama City Beach. It truly is a band of brothers. John, Jesse, and Daniel are not on the phone, but Dylan is with Kongos. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm just going to lead off with a really hard-hitting question to get the momentum of this podcast going. How much trouble can four brothers get in growing up in South Africa?
Potentially quite a lot. Although we were pretty good kids. You know, we had our occasional moments, but it's mostly we got in trouble with each other. You know, when you have four around, it's like you've got enough competition and attention to kind of get into enough trouble on your own, as opposed to looking to the outside world for it. So, you know, we'd get into fights and we'd get into all sorts of stuff.
So let's talk about your early influences while you were living maybe in South Africa. What were the local influences for, you know, when you guys got the band kind of idea in your head, and what other music in the world stood out to you guys?
In South Africa, we were all pretty young. Johnny was the oldest when we left. He was about 16. So most of the influences were kind of just getting into our subconscious through our dad's record collection. And he had a huge record collection of all sorts of music, from, you know, rock, pop, opera to African music, lots of tribal music, some cool rhythmic stuff from like Burundi and Kwaito music and all this other stuff. So we kind of listened to a lot of that when we went out and about. You hear a lot of local music. But the band idea, and we played music. We were all playing piano and guitar and stuff at the early ages. But we really didn't start the band until we moved to Phoenix when we were just a little bit older. Once we started that, it kind of started off with more of like a classic rock feel. We were listening to a lot of Stones and Beatles and Eagles and all that. And then it just started developing from there. You know, as those other influences and those other sounds that we grew up listening to, they started kind of coming out in the music as we got a little bit more proficient at our instruments.
Right on. You guys are living in Cali right now, in the L.A. area. We're a big beach community over here. What's the big beach thing going on over in Cali right now?
Well, I'm in Hollywood, but we get down to Venice quite a lot, or, you know, that's the closest place I can get to get to the beach. And I go surfing maybe 2 or 3 times a week down there in the mornings. So that's the biggest thing for me. I'm kind of looking forward to it heating up just a little bit so I don't have to freeze my hands and feet off.
Right. You have to wear those thick wetsuits.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not like Northern California or anything like that, or the East Coast, but it's still chilly. It's like 55-degree water right now. So
where do you find the different sounds you want included in your music now? You guys have one of the coolest instruments that I could even think of putting in a band, and the accordion. Is that the correct terminology for that?
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was a different name for it, like a howitzer or whatever.
No, there are a couple instruments similar to it, like a melodeon or a harmonium that use the reeds and use the bellows and stuff like that. But this is in Afrikaans, it's translated to a walking piano.
That's right.
Which is pretty much what it is. Yeah, it was kind of a funny way it came about. We were on the very first album we were recording. We got to a song where no solo was kind of working. We were trying to work with guitar or keyboards, or we even tried like a clarinet solo. That's how bad it got. We were like, and nothing was working, but it really needed a solo. So we had an accordion laying around. Our dad had bought a couple he didn't even play them. I don't know why he had them, but we almost like tripped over it, you know, in the studio. And then Johnny picked it up and started playing it, and we just said, that's the sound. That's exactly the sound. And then we just started using it on so many more songs. And when Come With Me Now came out, yeah, I mean, who would have thought that now it's like a big popular song used in all commercials and on pop radio and stuff like that. But at the time, for years, it was kind of being rejected by everyone. And we would have never thought that a song with an accordion, a pedal steel guitar, and like male vocals would have ended up on pop radio. But then, you know, a few years later, it did.
Come with me now. Come with me now. Come with me now. I'm gonna take you down. Come with me now. I'm gonna show you how. Come with me now. I'm gonna take you down. Come with me now. I'm gonna show you how.
a song like "Come With Me Now," it has to be your last song still, or do you lead off with it? How does that work into your set list?
We used to finish with it, in the first years of our kind of success, but we're not doing that anymore. We kind of want to move away from it, just because it's a really good problem to have, having a huge hit like that. You get a career, you get huge followings, you get exposed to, or people get exposed to your other music, but it can also pigeonhole you, and now a lot of our problem is people know the song all around the world, but they don't know the band, and we're trying to kind of break free of that. So we put Come With Me Now somewhere in the middle of the set. So if there are any fans out there, or any people that just came to see Come With Me Now, we get rid of them real quick. We get down to our hardcore fans.
Yeah, make room for the dancing for your hardcore fans. That's the way to do it. Last question about Come With Me Now. The video's just rocking, but I have to ask, is that Lin-Manuel that's in your video? Do you know who that is?
Who?
Lin-Manuel, the guy from Mary Poppins and Hamilton.
Oh, no.
Go back and watch it. It looks just like him. I was like, holy cow, that's a good get.
Oh, no, yeah, I'll have to check. That video, it's definitely not anyone famous that you would know. Most of those people are friends. A couple of the girls were like local models that we used. But that video cost $60.
Love it.
That's
great.
And then it, went on to get 100 and something million views.
That's fantastic. That's a good budget. So that was your budget for the next video, right?
The next video, I think, cost like a few $100. It started going up from there.
All right. That's just the price of fame, right? Good. Well, you guys have a new album out right now, 1929 Part 1. It's out. Can you kind of give us a breakdown on what the ideas were for this album?
Yeah. So it's Part 1 of 3. We're actually working on Part 2 right now, and that's going to come out later this year. And then Part 3 within 18 months. It's we just had a lot of songs. We went through this. We went through this kind of long 2-year stressful time with our record label, where we were trying to get out of our contract, and we finally did. And in the meantime, we had all these songs we'd written and all this backlog of material, and now it's just time to release that. We're independent. We want to release it as kind of quickly and freely as we like, and we weren't able to do that when we were on a major label.
Right.
So that's kind of the inspiration behind the 3 parts of it. It's the first album that we've recorded in this new space in LA. Before, all the other albums were recorded in Phoenix. We've got this really cool room, really cool studio in LA with like high ceilings. It sounds different. Just the room, it kind of inspires a different type of record. We also brought out a bunch of our dad's old vintage synths from the 80s that we started working on, and it's got this cool mix of kind of our throwback to what Kongos sounded like, on Lunatic and the first couple albums, but with a whole new direction of it. It's a little bit more chill. I think it's a little bit more honest. And yeah, we're excited to get to the 3 parts.
Very cool. Current song out right now is Pay for the Weekend. Can you tell me what that song is all about?
That song was written by Jesse, the drummer, so I can kind of give a brief breakdown of it without screwing up his maybe interpretation of his own song. Sonically, it's probably the most similar song to the previous albums, which is always kind of a way to bridge the gap between albums and get people interested in your new sound. It's got a bunch of the new synths that we used on it, but lyrically it's about cycles, which it's also kind of where the name of the album came from. There's a line in it that says "Makes me want to party like it's 1929," and that's kind of where we got the title of the album from. And 1929 was this year, kind of significant year in American history, at least, or world history, where the beginning of the Great Depression started. And it was before that, there was this huge party, like the 20s, the Roaring 20s was just this massive kind of free-for-all party in every aspect of life. And then a big crash came. Yep. And Pay for the Weekend and the whole album is kind of referencing that, this idea of bubbles and cycles in life and how they nothing ever goes in one direction. It's always going to be up and down and up and down.
We're gonna pay for the weekend. We're gonna pay for the weekend. We had to go and jump in the deep end. Never, ever, never, never, ever, never again. Never, ever, never again.
I like it. My interpretation was you party too hard on the weekend, you're going to pay for it on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the kind of surface meaning of the song for sure.
It might be shallow
Jesse
for me.
tries to write. No, that's that's what he was trying to intend. And then, just there are a couple layers to it, but definitely he wanted to get that across. That I think he wrote it after having too big of a weekend.
I like it.
Like on a Monday, and he was like, "Damn, I got to pay for this now."
That's great. I also feel you need to pitch the song to the Visit Las Vegas people. That'd be a good one for their campaign to get people to come out because you're going to pay for it on Monday when you fly out of town, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we've got a quick little 30 top 5 that we do. It's extremely thought-provoking questions with Dylan from the band Kongos. You can catch them at Sand Jam, and they're playing April 26th or the 28th. Tickets are on sale right now. Get the VIP tickets so you can get up and get right in their faces while they're playing. It's a great live band. You got to catch them. All right, you ready?
Sure.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
All right, why? Cats suck, right?
I mean, I've grown to like cats recently, but dogs are they're so much more social. They're like more demanding, but they want to be part of the crowd. They want to be part of the pack.
Look, I have a 50-pound Portuguese water dog and a 4-pound Yorkie right next to me while we're doing this interview, so I'm a dog person.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Star Wars, right on, brother.
Never really got into Star Trek. Yeah, Star Wars was kind of right around, the early ones were, at least when they came out in South Africa, were right around the right age for me.
That's right.
But I never really got into Star Trek.
That was the right answer. That is a correct answer. One artist you want to sit in with before you're done playing music?
Sit in with it's a difficult one. Like most of the artists that I really love and like look up to, I probably would be too nervous to kind of go and sit and actually play with them. But
sure.
Maybe sit in on like a recording session or something like that would be awesome to be in a room with Dr. Dre actually when
nice.
he produces, because he's produced some of the most like iconic albums of all time. And I wasn't aware of just how much of a producer he was until that documentary. So
great answer. Keep it clean. Craziest thing you've seen from the stage?
Craziest thing I've seen from the stage. I saw a guy, I don't know if it's that crazy. I'm sure people have seen much crazier, but saw a guy trying to jump the barrier to come on the stage, and he was on something, and he was taken down he started screaming that someone started screaming that he had a gun or something like that.
God.
Cops came and just like 6 or 7 of them just took him down to the ground.
Great. That's what should happen.
Yeah.
All right, this is the hard one. The movie Almost Famous. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, it had a famous scene in it with a tour shirt that went really bad. If your management made a tour shirt and 3 of you were fuzzy, who would be the one that was in focus?
Well, my ego says me. Definitely got to be.
Right.
I got to be the one in focus.
Not the accordion, right?
No.
Okay, well, Dylan, thank you guys for taking time for us, and we look forward to getting you down here on the beaches. Panama City needs it. We're looking for a rocking concert. It's been a tough 5 or 6 months since the storm, and we're ready to have some good times out on Panama City Beach again. So thank you for participating in it this year, and we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, man, thanks for the interview, and look forward to it as well.
All right, Dylan, thank you, buddy.
Take it easy. Cheers.
Hit the beach with our friends at 38cottages.com. Great homes for rent all across the beaches of South Walton. Until next time, beach happy.
Still a scare.